Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first Engage with Sage. Today, we welcome Miss Duffett. Hi, Miss Duffett, and Miss Torres.
Hello.
There's Caitlin, and Caitlin says hi. Hi, Caitlin. How are you? We hope you're doing well.
Hi, Caitlin.
So really quick, just kind of talk about what Engage with Sage will look like for our first episode. We are going to ask the general questions that you guys have filled out on the Google form, and then we're going to put Miss Duffin and Miss Torres on the hot seat and ask them some specific questions that you guys want to know about them as Sage teachers. Feel free to ask questions. We're not going to be able to get all of them. We're going to stop the show in 30 minutes, but please feel free to put your name and your grade, first name only, and your grade onto this. You can also ask some questions there as well. We'll try to get them answered as soon as we can. So here we go. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Are you asking me? I thought you were asking the kids.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
And them. All right. So the first question, Esmeralda wants to know, were you ever in the gifted program? If so, was it different? Miss Duffett, let's start with you.
I actually was in the gifted program in North Kansas City Schools. I went to Maple Park. We called it GT, which stood for Gifted and Talented, and it was a lot different. We're in this little tiny closet of a classroom. The other day, about a month ago, when I took my Eastgate kids over there for a tour, I pointed it out to Mr. Adams, and he's like, "That's a closet." And I'm like, "I know," but it was the gifted room. And mostly we did like the independent study projects like you guys did in elementary school. I remember doing lots of note cards, making lots of things. We did take some really cool field trips. I do remember that about GT. Didn't love my GT teacher in middle school, though. I'm going to be honest, kids.
Oh, no.
She didn't really understand kids.
Thank you, Miss Duffett. Miss Torres.
I was not in the gifted program, you guys. So I have never experienced what you guys do.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. All right, Miss Torres, we'll start with you. Esmeralda wants to know, will we still be able to get into the Hall of Flame this year?
So Esmeralda and anyone else who wants to know, we are working on that question because we know it's really important to you guys. And so we are working on that as a team. So stay tuned. Hopefully by our next week's episode, we'll have a clear answer for you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Miss Duffett, Madison S. wants to know, is teaching at the Sage Center in different subjects that are not taught in regular school, is that fun for you?
Oh my gosh, yes. If you don't have me for a unit of study or IQ, I will tell you the same thing I tell all my Duffeteers. This is my dream job. Who would ever have thought that I would be doing kitchen chemistry in the stock market? I'm a native English teacher. That's what I did, or social studies. I taught a lot of history. 18 years before I started teaching Sage. So I was not a science person. So it's way more fun to do all the things that we do.
Awesome. Ms. Torres, do you have anything to add?
So my 6-year-old came in here with an emergency because she needed the iPad. So would you repeat the question?
Yes. Is teaching at Sage in a subject that's not taught at a regular school, is that fun for you?
It's absolutely the coolest thing ever. And I will say it's my dream job too. I love getting to teach something that is not taught at school. And honestly, even when I have no experience in it, I love learning about it and teaching it.
Awesome. Very cool. We have some people saying hi. We got Kai. Hi, Kai.
Hi, Kai.
Yeah, we got some good.
Hi,
oh, there we go. There's Elizabeth, Pickle Plums. I like that. Hi, Elizabeth. All right, next question. Nick and Brian had the same question. Do you have pets? Miss Duffett, do you have any pets?
Well, I do. We have a dog. I got a puppy last year. So she just turned a year old this week. We had a birthday party. That dog is with the kids at their dad's. But I'll be right back. Look at my project.
Oh, what is Miss Duffett's project? We need a drum roll.
Quarantine project. Say hi.
Oh,
I am fostering this sweet little baby while we're at home right now. I figured I might as well, since I'm at home, we could take care of this little girl. So we're just fostering. She's going to get adopted by another family. We get to love on her for a couple weeks. Her name is Barnett. I did not pick that. I don't love it. You guys, oh, look at her. Oh,
She loves you.
oh,
Awesome.
I love this little baby.
Wow, Miss Stuffit, thank you. Miss Torres, do you have any pets?
This is Bella. Bella, say hi. Come here. Bella. There she is. That's Bella. She is a golden retriever, and she is 115 pounds.
Oh, my.
Wow. So we have opposite ends of the spectrum there. We have a
Yeah,
puppy
this little
puppy.
baby is 8 weeks old.
Very cool. Very cool.
That's really
Thank you
big,
guys for sharing that. Awesome. All right. Next question is from Drew. Did you teach anywhere else before Sage? Ms. Torres, you want to start with that one?
Sure. I've taught in a few places. My first job was teaching in Wichita, and I taught 5th grade. And then I came to North Kansas City and taught at Davidson Elementary for 5 or 6 years. I taught 4th and 5th grade. And then 2 years before coming to Sage, I taught in downtown Kansas City at a charter school. I taught enrichment, which is a lot like our Sage program, to 3rd through 8th graders.
Very cool. Ms. Stuffit?
So my first 2 years, I taught out at Raymore Peculiar Middle School. I taught 7th and 8th grade, social studies and English, coached cheerleading at the high school. It was fairly small district at that time. Like there were cows across the street from the school, like that you just drive their cows in a field and then there's the school. They've gotten a lot bigger since then. And then after my first 2 years, I came back north to North Kansas City because that was the district I grew up in. So I was at Antioch for 16 years, then transferred to Eastgate for a year to teach Sage. And then we started designing the building. And so now I've been there. So been in North Kansas City. This is the end of 20 years.
Wow. Very
I know,
awesome.
I can't go back to school. I don't get to get my big service award.
Oh, man.
I know, year 20. I just thought about it. I'm like, oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Kind of a big deal.
Well,
20 years.
that's awesome. Well, we have some awesome comments from our Sage students about your guys' puppies. I think my heart just exploded. And we also got another one. She is so cute. So we all love animals. Definitely we do. All right. So now,
guys.
I love it. All right, you guys. So it is now time to put you in the hot seat. So we're going to start with Miss Duffett for the first question. So these questions were specifically asked for you guys. Sage students, if you're on, we have 25 people watching, which is awesome. If you have not already, and you can continue if you think of any more questions, because we hope to have another episode of Engage with Sage. So keep asking those questions. Feel free to ask questions in the comment bar as well. Oh, here we go. I have a book lover who had a comment. My dad used to work in Peculiar. So look at that, making connections. I love it. Very cool. All right, Miss Duffett. Alexis wants to know, when do you think the stock market will go back up?
Ooh, there's a tough question, kids. Since literally the recession of 2008 was not nearly like this. It will go back up. We all know that it will. It's going to be a matter of how fast we can restart the economy, how fast states can come out of their stay-at-home orders. The big thing is going to be kind of the roller coaster of, once we come out of social distancing and, try to get back to normal, will we have to do it again? So that will affect the stock market there. It will come back. In fact, it comes back daily. It makes rebounds every week. Do I think it's going to go as high as it was before? Not anytime soon, no. I think that will take years to get back to where we were back even in February. My poor stock market kids, we were at record highs at the beginning of February and then hit record lows a month later. Didn't go great for the teams this year, but we tried. You guys have all experienced something that, nobody's ever dealt with before in our generation, really. So that's what's back up, I know. Pharmaceuticals would have been the thing to Zoom. Who would have known all these little companies? Telehealth is another good market right now, a sector that you could invest in. I was getting updates today about the company that's trying to, the first company that can figure out how to treat coronavirus is going to make millions. So those are the ones to watch.
Awesome. Here, we have a question here. Let's go ahead and go to that one really quick. Pickle
I
Plum.
love this.
All right. Do you think that since we figured out online learning now, snow days, etc., will become obsolete? What do you guys think of that?
I have, this is funny, kids, because I've already realized this. After about week 1, I was like, we should never have a snow day again. So I've actually like tweeted it. I put it, they had a staff survey. And if you kids filled out the survey about virtual learning, I put that in my staff survey that I didn't think we should ever have to have make up a snow day again. That's just personal opinion.
I'm in the same boat of personal opinions. I think we are showing that we can continue learning virtually. And so why do we need a snow day? Yeah.
Very good. All right. Miss Torres, are you ready for the hot seat?
I'm nervous, but I guess I'm ready.
Okay, Miss Torres, let's do this one. Anastasia wants to know what your favorite class to teach is.
Oh man, Anastasia, that is so hard because I'll be honest with you, it kind of like switches around with whatever project that we're doing. I will say that probably my favorite, I'm going to put it this way. My favorite project within a class that I've ever done was last year during interior design when we were designing a space for the school district. I thought that was so much fun. So that was probably my favorite memory of teaching a SAGE.
Awesome. Okay, let's go to both you guys. We have a question in the comment bar. What's your prediction on how long quarantine will last?
Torres, you want to go first?
I don't want to depress anybody, but my feeling is that I'm worried that this could go through the whole summer, but we'll see.
All right.
I know. I don't know about you kids. I go through phases where I can't stop watching the news, and I go through phases of I'm not even turning on the TV today because I just can't look. I think it's going to be different everywhere. I think this is a huge. The kids. Tell you, there's a lot of things here. The teacher heart in me. So many reasons why I know you think you don't need to take history and do those things, and we teach a bunch of stuff you don't need to know. Well, it happened 100 years ago. Why do I need to know that? These times are why we have to take all that data and all that what happened in the past to use it to what we're going to do now. They make comparisons to the Spanish flu in 1918. Yes, we have more technology, but in that, we also live a different lifestyle, and that's why we have to social distance and all that. So we obviously want to be safe. We don't want to take any. I saw somebody said, "Do you miss us?" Oh my! I don't think you guys have any idea.
We miss you so much, Cooper, and all of you.
Miss Duffett was not built to stay at home away from you guys. I'll tell you that right now. Is that you guys know I'm a talker and an extrovert. That's why I had to get a puppy. Like I was just like, okay. There's no one here to talk to because my kids are with their dad, which they need to be. We've all isolated and we're all safe and letting the kids go back and forth. But I was realizing I was talking to myself and or the TV. So I was like, I'm going to get a puppy for a while. I'm just going to foster it for a while.
That's awesome, you guys. Hey, we have another question here in the comment bar for both of you guys. So I thought it was really cool. Chronic AJ, if you could not be a gifted teacher, what job would you work and why? Miss Torres, let's start with you.
I always say that if I was not teaching, I would probably be a real estate agent. I think it would be super fun.
Torres, you'd be so good at that. See, all these things I didn't even know. I'm like, you'd be so good at that.
I love houses. I love that.
So I've told some of my students, and I miss Cole, my A+ tutor too. I forgot all about him. I had to email him the other day. I'm like, Cole, are you okay? I forgot about you. My dream job, and this is kind of a joint conjunction with my sister. We wanted to host our own morning radio show here in Kansas City, like play music, talk about pop culture, sports. Like I think like doing this, I think I'd be so good at this. Talking about random things. Again, the kids know I'm really good at talking about random things. I know a little bit about a lot.
That's awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. Great question, AJ. Oh, here we go. Hi, Zach. We just wanted to say hi. And Zach says that for some reason he doesn't really mind this quarantine. So thank you for joining us, Zach. That's awesome.
Yes, you guys.
Awesome. All right.
Our homebodies like this.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Hot seat, Miss Duffett.
Woo!
Are you ready? Evan, what is your favorite thing to cook at home, Miss Duffett?
Girls, I've been having to cook a lot. I miss freezer meals a lot. Ironically, I know in this, there becomes a stereotype that men are better grillers than females, but I love to grill. Like, that's my jam. So kids, I have a little deck. I call it the lounge now, since we all have our virtual learning from home, the kids and I. So I sit here at the kitchen table. That's where I'm at right now. And then we have a nice little deck with a nice table out there, a really scenic field behind me. Some of you have probably seen it in my videos if you are in my classes and I send you videos. So I spend a lot of time when it's nice out in the lounge, we call it. We eat out there. But I like to grill, so I grill dinner most time, or I now that we've all been home, I grill lunch at least once a week. And there's a lot less dishes. You all know how I feel about doing dishes.
Awesome. Thanks, Miss Duffett. Oh, here's a comment from Ben. Thank you, Ben, for joining us. Did you know there's a systematic activity since people are moving around so little? Thank you, Ben, for joining us today.
A lot less pollution. You guys have seen on the news that they've done like topographic, like thermographic maps to show pollution around the world and how much it's decreased. Like the canals in Italy are clear now because no one's going in the that way. It's been a weird nature reset that maybe we needed. Part of this, I don't, love all of it, but if there's some positive, I love that.
They were talking about the pollution.
And got a question. Yeah. Here we go. Do you think this will affect us and our high school careers next year? Miss Torres, or Miss Duffett, you're shaking your head no. Why don't you start with that one?
You guys know I have if you don't know, I have an 8th grader too. So we've had a lot of conversations about this at home. That's the great thing. If you guys watch any of like the press conferences with like the governor, he has the commissioner for DESE, which is the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, on frequently. So they are all very aware of what's happening when they make these decisions, and they are doing everything they can to take all that into account, to protect you, to protect us as teachers. Like there are student teachers out there that would be graduating from college right now that need their credentials to go teach in the fall. So they're helping out with all that because they didn't get to finish their student teaching. So I think none of us will ever forget this. So we'll always be remember, oh yeah, you were in 8th grade in 2020. Okay. So we're going to do everything we can, to help you guys out, whatever grade you're in. I know we all keep saying this. We all are in this together, and we will all remember this and we'll all help each other out. So I said, awesome. My own son that's an 8th grader, I'm like, you have to make sure you keep up with your high school classes, algebra, Spanish. You have to do all your work, buddy, but you must do that. So I think you guys are going to be fine.
Thank you, Ms. Duffett. Ms. Torres, will you answer this one from Isaac? Probably just a quick question, but do you think ULSs will be affected?
I don't know if you're referring to this year or units of study for next year. Yes, I think they are affected slightly this year, but I do know that every ULS teacher is really working to make sure that you still get to learn about the content that you signed up for. Your projects just may look a little bit different in the end, depending on which class you're in. Next year, I don't think they'll be affected.
Awesome. Here's another question from the comment this is Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. Thank you so much for joining us on Engage with Sage for our first episode. Do you guys play any instruments? Miss Duffett, why don't you start with that one?
So I did when I was in school. I played violin. And there were lots of kids in school that played violin, and I didn't really want to practice very much. So I switched to viola because I could sit closer to the front that way. Gifted kid figured that out real quick. Oh, there's less people doing that, and I don't look like I'm sitting like 64th chair in the back. So I switched to viola, and then I didn't after high school, I didn't continue doing it. And that's like speaking a foreign language or whatever. If you don't use it, you lose it. So no, not really anymore.
Same for me. I used to play violin and the French horn. I will say I lost it after high school. That is a regret I have. I don't have very many regrets in life, you guys, but I wish I had just kept practicing on my own. So that I still know how to play it because I'm pretty sure I don't know how to play either one anymore.
Awesome. Let's go back to Isaac's question really quick. He's talking about next year's UOSs. Do you think that they will go back to their class that they have left? So they will continue with the units of study that they had already this spring? Or are students going to choose new classes for next year? And if so, will they be able to choose the same class that they just took? Is what I'm thinking that Isaac's talking about. Do we have any thoughts on that?
That's actually a really good question. So what you guys don't know what we do behind the scenes besides, engage with all of you on Canvas or Teams or whatever you're doing with your teachers. We are meeting with each other. In fact, I've had almost a daily Zoom or whatever Microsoft team with these gals, which has been great this week. Made the week go fast, girls. I wanted to say that to you today. I'm like, this has been a really good week with just lots of interaction. I've had meetings every day. So we are talking about enrollment. Hi, sister. We are talking about enrollment for next year and what that's going to look like. We don't have all the answers to that. We have a meeting with all the middle school teachers and Dr. Marsden Monday to kind of work through that. I will be honest, I had not thought about that. If you could read something. So that's a really good question I would like to talk about with the teachers. That's, I hadn't thought about that. So kids, I love it. You guys, that's why we come to you and we want to hear from you, is because you think about things from your perspective that we don't. It's a whole different ball game trying to be teachers to you. We're all moms, so we're all working on school with our kiddos at home, getting puppies, doing those things. So thank you. I wrote that down already. That's something for us to think about for sure.
Yeah. Hey, guys, that's a great point. Ms. Duff and Ms. Torres, I think you might agree that please ask those questions, because we might not know the answers, but please ask those questions about Sage and about anything you have so we can take them back to our team and make some decisions for you guys. Ms. Torres, you have some special guests. Would you like to introduce them?
Sure. So I don't know where Maya went off to, but this is Malia, and she is eating a lid. That's fun. But she is 1 year old. She just turned 1 a couple of weeks ago. And so her and I have been my school buddies. So my students who we video conference with usually get to see one or both of them. This one, she's teething right now, so she's a little grumpy. But
she's adorable.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thanks for being a guest speaker.
Jezree's question in the comments. Hi,
Jezree. I know. It's like, hey, this is Jezree. Do you think that Summer Sage will happen? Miss Torres, you want to start with that? And Miss Duffy, you both? Yeah, you both are going to be teaching Summer School Sage. But can you also talk about what grade level that we do Summer School Sage in as well?
So there has not been a straight answer on Summer Sage yet. There's tossing around some alternative possibilities, some outside the box possibilities that there has been no decision made on currently. But here's my gut feeling is that Summer Sage in June, if it happens, it probably won't be in person. But I don't know the answer for sure on that.
Right. Just to go back to that for just a second, basically the district has to work with the state. And that's what I was kind of telling you guys about earlier. So for right now, until we get the all clear that it's, safe, I know you guys are probably getting interaction from your baseball teams and things like that. We always get emails and stuff from the baseball parks when it's safe. They can make that determination. So right now we're all just kind of just like you. We're just waiting to hear, just in a holding pattern.
Yeah, I think we know as much as they do at this point. Questions are just flying in. We are about 6 minutes out. Let's do a couple more here, and then we'll go back to the hot seat to end our first episode of Engage with Sage. Chronic AJ, with so much increase in unemployment, how hard will it be to create the world we had? How many people will end up in debt, or how many people with the families may be forced into living homeless? Hey guys, I love our Sage kids. I think you guys know the answer to these. So any thoughts on this? Because I think that's kind of what they're wanting, or the thoughts that you might have. Ms. Duffy, any thoughts?
Did I miss who Chronic AJ is? Did they say who they were?
I don't think they've actually said who they were. Chronic AJ, do you mind putting your first name if you feel comfortable?
If you don't want to, you don't have to, kiddo. You've asked such great questions. I'm like, who is this person? This is why I miss you guys so much.
Yeah.
I think that's the big question, and why they want, why our president and why our governors want the states to go back as soon as possible, is because this is such a hardship for people, and we don't want people to, oh, kiddo, there you go. We don't want people to struggle. This has been the hardest thing. We want people to be safe physically, health-wise, but we also want people to be safe financially and in their lifestyle, and that's kind of been taken away from a lot of people right now. So it's going to be super interesting to see how fast we can, I've thought about this a lot. I know probably you guys too. We're gifted people. We overthink everything. So I lay awake at night thinking about this. If restaurants open, would they have to maybe have like 50% of the people? Like maybe if they could seat 100 people at their restaurant, maybe they'd only be able to seat 50, and you could have your 6 feet apart tables or whatever. I don't know. I've thought about it a lot. It's a great thing. There are going to be so many things for us to learn from this experience. So many things you guys are seeing a worldview of this. How does all of these things, how we're all interdependent, and we need all of these services and things to happen. I know like grocery workers, whoever thought they were going to be essential workers, and they're so important to us, and they should never be taken for granted.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for your thoughts. We are down to less than 4 minutes, and I have so many questions, and your comments still keep flying through. But please remember, we hope to have another episode of Engage with Sage next week with some more featured teachers, and possibly Miss Duffett and Miss Torres will also join in with us. Paige, Paige, we might not have the answer to this question, but if we are taking a class that gives high school credit, but you have low grades from last quarter, will they make allowances for that since you couldn't balance out the grade because grades are frozen? I bet you are not the only one in that boat. Do you two any thoughts on that one? Any thoughts on that?
I don't have the answer.
I don't have the answer either, so I hate to speak about that, but we could definitely inquire and find out and get back to you.
My best advice would be to make sure you're doing all of your work right now to show them that you want to improve that grade.
Awesome. Yeah, just communication, I think, is really important right now during this time. Just kind of keep communicating with those teachers and your peers. Okay, we have very few minutes. You got about 1.5 minutes to answer this last hot seat question. Miss Torres, Drew wants to know, how do you know Miss Ryan?
Okay, Drew, that's a great question. So Miss Ryan and I taught together at Davidson. We were teammates, and so we taught 5th grade together, and we loved teaching together so much that we're great friends still. And I taught her son, and actually Miss Duffett taught her son too. I had him for 2 years in 4th and 5th grade, and Miss Duffett had him in middle school. So that is how I know Miss Ryan. She's still good. She's still Ryan.
Yeah, we're the 3rd largest school district in the state of Missouri, but yet we're all connected somehow. We all know each other somehow.
Family. I tell you guys, we're family.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Well,
and Miss Vogel knows Miss Ryan too. I think you should mention that.
We all do.
We do. Yep. Miss Duffett, ready for your question from Elliot. Weirdest crazy person encounter?
Oh, kids. So many. So many. So I worked, even as an adult, when my kids were little bitty, I worked a part-time summer job at Starlight. If you guys have ever been to Starlight Amphitheater, they do like Broadway shows and musicals and concerts and comedy shows. And when you work at the public, when they're going to like a fun event that I hope we all get to do again soon, you run into all kinds of interesting characters. So there were so many stories from Starlight. And I'm a people person. Obviously, I like to talk. So people were always telling me their stories. And I mean, just so many crazy things I saw out there, you guys. Like people would be surfing on top of cars in the parking lot. I saw a lot of things out there, kids.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. We have 45 seconds. Is there anything that you want to say, last words, or anything else that you want to say to our 23 viewers now? But we will send this out in a link for others to view as well. And hopefully you guys will be back in the hot seat with Engage with Sage. So anything you guys want to end off by saying? Miss Torres, would you like to start?
Okay. I just want to tell you guys that I know this is so hard, and I want you to know you're all in it together. Reach out to each other, to us. You don't have to have an academic reason. Just let us know when you need something because we're having a hard time. We know you guys are too, and we love you and we miss you.
Yep, same. This is weird. As I said, for people, this is not what I ever envisioned teaching to be. If you don't love the online learning, it's not my favorite thing either. I'd much rather be cooking with you kids or doing stock market or whatever we do. My Gladstone event got canceled too, obviously, so that was a bummer. So I just miss doing all the stuff with you guys. I'm not meant to sit on a computer all day.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. So, hey, you guys can help us out by telling your friends and everybody else about Engage with Sage so we can get a lot more interaction, because a lot more interaction means a lot more questions. So thank you again for our 2 featured guest speakers and all of our guests and all of our guest animals. They were great. And thank you so much. Have a great day. We'll see you next week. Talk to you later.
Bye, kids.